All right, good morning. This is 6.5 linear inequalities. The objective is to graph linear inequalities in two variables and to use linear inequalities when modeling real-world situations. All right, is the ordered pair a solution of y is greater than x minus 3? What you're going to do is you're going to check to see if this is a true statement or false statement by taking the number 1 and putting it in place of the x because it represents the x in that coordinate. This represents the letter y. So when you plug it into this equation right here, we'd have 2 is greater than, put the 1 in place of the x, and then do a little simplifying here. 2 is greater than 1 minus 3 is negative 2. This is a true statement. 2 is greater than negative 2, so this is a solution. On the next one, we would take the negative 3, put it in place of the x, the negative 7, and put it in place of the y. So it would look like this. Negative 7 is greater than negative 3 minus 3. A little simplified. Negative 7 is not greater than negative 6, so therefore this one here is no solution. Okay, and here is the other main thing here. With these inequalities, you either have an answer that is above the line or below the line. And I'm going to use the word shading. You shade the area above or below the line. It is a dotted line. You notice on this one over here, it is a dotted line if you ever have an inequality that is less than or greater than. And this would go on the left side of your notes. If you ever have an inequality that is greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, that is an example of a solid line. And that also goes on the left-hand side of your notes. Your shading, I'll talk about that in just a moment, but it all depends on where the y is and then what is facing the y as far as the inequality goes. So when you graph this one here, first, the form, it's in slope-intercept form. It's in y equals mx plus b form. Now we have y is greater than x minus 2. If the y is already solved for or all by itself, just grab the m and grab the b value. The m value in this one is always the number in front of x, which is 1 over 1. The b value is the other number in there, negative 2. Plot your b value first by going down 2. Apply your slope, which is up 1 over 1. Then you want to make a bunch of them. Okay. Now, either you're going to connect the dots with a solid line or with a dotted line. This symbol here lets you know that it is a dotted line because it is just greater than. So when you make your dotted line, there's a bunch of little dots like so, and now you're shading. You're either going to shade above this line or below this line, and here's how you can tell. You can either plug 0, 0 in place of x and y and see if it's a solution or no solution and shade where 0, 0 is. Or this is the method that I usually use. Whatever is facing the y value, or the letter y, that's what tells you if you should shade up or down. This reads y is greater than. So if you think of greater than, you think of above. So put your pencil on the line, get an arrow going up. You should shade in the area that is above the line, which is right there. All right, and then this one here is also solved for. We have the y all by itself, so we can grab the m, which is 1/2, the b value, which is 1. Plot the 1 first, then go up at a slope of up 1 over 2. All right, check to see if it's a solid line or a dotted line, and since there's a line underneath it, it is a solid line. Get some arrowheads on there, and now you're shading. You're either going to shade above or shade below. It reads y is less than. If y is less than, you shade below the line, or in other words, like so. All right, and this is really the last concept. You'll notice on letter A and B for this one, these are graphed separately. Letter A just has one letter. If it just has one letter, it's a horizontal or vertical line. And before, we made a t-table with x and y to find out where the points are. In every x on here, we have -1 because it is x is greater than -1. Easy numbers to plot are 0, 1, and 2. So we'll plot these coordinates going to the left one, up and down 0, and left one, up 1, left one, up 2. This is a vertical line, and it's dotted because it is just greater than. And now you either, before I said you have to shade up or down. Well, this is a vertical line, so you have to shade to the left or to the right. If it says y is greater than, you shade to the right. And that is the correct answer for that one. Now I'm going to erase this so I can use the graph again here so I can do number B, or letter B. Okay, so we only have one letter, so this is again a table. In place of every y, you put 2 because it is y is greater than or equal to 2. Good numbers are 0, 1, 2. Plot the points left and right, up 2. To the right 1, up 2. To the right 2, up 2. So this one is a solid line, and you're either going to shade above it or below it depending on how it reads. It says y is greater than 2, so greater than mean goes up, and there is my graph. Okay, more of the same. These are both horizontal or vertical. And I am going to skip this one here. And right here, your B value is 1. Okay, so right now, every single B value is 1, so we don't have it quite yet. Also on this one, your slope is up 2 over 1. So our slope is 2 over 1. That should help out a little bit too. Our M is 2 over 1. Our B is 1. Okay, so we can, it's definitely not letter B. Scratch that one out. And how about our solid line versus dotted line? It's a solid line, so that means it has to be A or C. It's got to be one of these two. And the last thing we would check is our shading. If they shade below or above, well, it's shaded below, and the one that has the less than symbol is A. So A is the right answer. Scratch off C. And that is the correct answer for that one. And the last one. So I want to make sure that you know how to do a problem like number 28. If you want to graph that one, you're going to have to solve for y. So the first thing you would do to solve for y is subtract 4x from both sides, because we want to get it in slope-intercept form. So minus y is greater than 2 minus 4x. To solve for y, you have to divide by -1. Then you'd have y is, flip the inequality around. Whenever you divide by a negative or multiply by a negative, it flips. And then you'd have -2 plus 4x. You could easily graph this one because your m is 4 over 1 and your b is -2. And then you would do dotted line, shaded line, and you'd be good. All right, that should be good. Good luck.